Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast that's happy to be awake at 5 a.m. on a Friday. We've got a Sunday game this week, Monday, Tuesday, every day of the week. Joining me back off his second stint of IR at Danny Webb, AGS. Have you recovered, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to be like Michael Jordan playing a flu game right now, but, you know, we're there. We're there and thereabouts, and huge shout-out for Tiff for jumping on board last minute. It was a ripper episode. If you haven't heard it, go back, listen to the review. It was actually quite nice to hear someone else's voice on there rather than just listen to you the whole time, so maybe it's something we've got to do more often.
I agree. She came up with some good stats, and we even spoke afterwards, and she's like, yep, I just wanted to throw you under the bus. I was like, oh, geez, it feels like I'm back with the boys.
Which is perfect. So it's almost like a perfect replacement. As long as you're getting shit throughout the whole podcast, everyone's happy. That's what people really listen for. They just want to hear us dump on you.
She did let me talk Packers, though, so that was huge. I do appreciate that. But you're right. Huge by her to come on, and we'll definitely get her in the studio. I think it'll be a lot better episode as well when we're in studio and actually be able to talk to her face-to-face, which would be awesome. Danny boy, massive week 16. I know you watch a lot of week 15. We've moved on from that. Huge week 16 coming up. And it starts, we don't normally talk about the Thursday night football, but this Thursday night football, the schedule makers got it right. I think it was only put in a couple of weeks ago. That's why they've been able to get this one so right. But this is easily the best Thursday night football game for the season.
Yeah, I think they're even saying that it's the first time in either ever or in a long time that it's two 11-win teams that are facing each other on a Thursday night. Obviously, the Thursday night doesn't go through for the whole season. So, it's hard. It's always hard to get to 11 wins. But then to have two teams at 11 wins facing each other on a Thursday night. Also, this is for the NFC West or the NFC best at this point, realistically, with how well the teams are doing. It's for the NFC West. It's for the number one seed in the NFC. Like, this game means everything for both these teams. And the Rams going in super banged up. No Devontae Adams. And then a bunch of other injuries on the defense, on the offense, everywhere. And then Sam Darnold, for some reason, doesn't like to play against the Rams. So you've got this really interesting match. Like, last time he played against the Rams, they missed a field goal, which they potentially could have won in the game, but he threw 4 interceptions prior to that. Like, he's not, like, there's just teams in the league that Sam Darnold doesn't like to play, and the Rams are one of them. So this has the markings of, like, one of the great games of the year.
And I reckon it goes down pretty much whoever wins this game is getting the number one seed. So I think, that's what I'm putting on it. So massive, massive stakes and easily the best Thursday night game we've got. I can't see the banged up Rams getting the job done. I reckon the Seahawks are just too well balanced at the moment. They're pretty healthy. It's
in Seattle as well, and it's going to be pissing down rain the whole game. So expect a very run heavy game. The Seahawks are currently 1-point favorites as well. But I'm tipping that's just due to the health of the Rams. But this is one of those games where I've literally changed my tips in our tipping comp 4 times.
Yeah.
I started on the Rams because, bet against the Rams until they give you a reason not to. Then I was like, nah, Seahawks at home. And then change it back to the Rams. And then change it back to the Seahawks. And I can't even tell you what it's at right now. I'm probably going to change it after this episode to whatever
we've got another 20 hours for you to keep changing your tip, mate. So you'll be a few more times, I'm sure, before then. But just a side note to that, you've said run heavy. Blake Corum, I would be, if you are looking at any kind of markets, Blake Corum's been huge for the Rams. And if it does end up run heavy in the rain, he's a man to look at, I think. Him and Williams 1-2. He's really come a long way this season.
You could almost look at a little touchdown ladder for that. I wouldn't not have a sniff at it, a little 1-2 and potentially even 3. Like, that's the sort of game we're talking about. And you'll be getting some damn good odds if you go to our good friends at Unibet for that.
Huge. The rest of week 16, though, mate, is massive. And there's divisional games left, right, and centre. We say it every week, but this week more than ever, every game matters.
Yeah, so this is the first time since 2016 that there's been 0 divisional winners heading into week 16. It's a nice little 16-16 combo there. But, that's crazy to think about. Like, we've spoken about this entire season, how important every single week is, week in, week out. And it just shows that we're getting to this point now where 4 AFC teams can clinch and 5 NFC. So, that's just, it's just wild that we're this far into the season. Previously, we've always seen at least one team dominate their division, kind of. And you could kind of pick it, and we were doing quite well, at the start of the season, picking them. Yeah. We tried to do it this year. I'm pretty sure we're going to get 2 out of 8. But how exciting is that we we who like study the game, live for the game, can't even pick who's coming up and who's not. Beautiful sport.
You're right. So we got 4. We're not going to go through it because it'll just be too stat heavy. But 4 AFC and 5 NFC. I do know that 2 of those NFC, which are Packers, Bears, are playing each other. So that makes it a little bit more bloated, I guess. But also Denver are the outside chance. If they get 4 other games that go their way, they can clinch the number 1 seed this week. So extremely tight. And you say we can't pick them. If the Jags win out, they end up at 13-4. Just so you know.
It'll be beautiful. I can't wait to go back to our hot take time machine and relive some of those. And that would have been a great one to punt on. Like, I don't know what their over-under was for the start of the season. I think it was like 9.5 or 10.
Yeah, as I said, I think it was double digits.
Yeah, and they've already smashed that. So, like, you know, we know something. We definitely know something.
When we get it right, we get it exactly right. So, huge by you. We have a story that's just come out this morning in Australia that Tua's been benched, Danny boy, for Quinn Ewers, the quarterback, first-year quarterback at the Dolphins. Is this the end of Tua?
Well, it's got to be, doesn't it? Like, we've seen this in the past with players like Russell Wilson for the Broncos when he got benched, and like you could tell that his time was over. I think with the management and coaching to be doing it at this point in the season, and even the way that like Tua was holding himself at the end of that last game, like he was the last person out in the field after they just got eliminated from the playoffs. Just having a yarn. I think it was to Jalen Ramsey, just like an old player until like they were pretty much the last people left in the stadium. So I reckon Tua would have had to have known. Like, that is not something how you represent your team once you've just lost and you've got out of playoffs. You should be in the locker room with the boys, like trying to keep them on side. But yes, I think there was already writing on the wall there. But the biggest issue for the Dolphins is it's actually going to leave them with a $99 million cap hit over the next 2 years. So how they go about that, like, do they try and trade him? No one's going to want that money. Russell Wilson, when he left the Broncos, he signed a $1 million contract because he was already getting 45 or whatever it was still from Denver. And Denver actually is still paying him now. Wild to think about, because Denver's doing so well. So they've got like a $30 million cap hole, and they're still, 1 game away from clinching, which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Makes them more scary next year, really, because they'll be debt-free next year of Russell Wilson anyway.
And then they've just got money to spend on more players, you know. But they're definitely a team that's done it by committee, and I really love that for them. I think they should not steer away from that, you know. But more importantly about Miami, like this is the beginning of the end, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Tua. Like, does he go and sign another $1 million contract for someone else? Does he walk away? Like, his concussions were so scary at one point where everyone's like, walk away from the game. Like, your head, your family, your life is more important than this sport. But since then, obviously, his concussions haven't been as bad. But like, you're still, no one knows the long-term effects. We can all pretend that we're Dr. Danny over here, but no one actually knows what's going to happen. So like, it's crazy to think about, really, to be honest. Like, there's a few teams, there'll definitely be a couple of buyers out there that will just like, you know what, we just need to hang out. Huh?
For $1 million, there'll be a lot of teams, I think.
Yeah, but like you could look at teams like the Jets or like, you know, other teams that are struggling for a QB just to buy him time for 1 more year, because we know this year's draft isn't perfect for the quarterback and the following year is looking a little bit better. So depending if you're not getting like the top 3 pick, well, do you just sign Tua for a year, buy yourself time, have a stopgap until the following year's draft?
I wasn't going to bring this up, but you make a great point about the teams that are struggling for a QB. So we've just had the Heisman Trophy done in the last week, and Fernando Mendoza has won it. He's Indiana U's QB. You know, worthy winner, good on him. He had just short of 3,000 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 71.5% completion rate, right? Joey Burrow, when he won his one, right? So this is in 2019, number 1 draft pick. Just short of double the yards, nearly 5,700. 60 touchdowns, so just short of double. Only the same, 6 interceptions and a 76% completion rate. So when people say that it's not quite the draft that, you know, it's been in the past, they're not lying. When that's the Heisman winner, the best player in the league, and he's half the player that Joey B was, only 6 years ago. And then, so these guys are not going to come in and be ready-made to play for teams that are going to struggle.
No, absolutely not. They're the sort of QBs that you want to sit behind, like a great starter, a vet starter, to let them get their reps, kind of like what Jordan Love's done, you know? So Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a long time and then developed into an amazing, you know, starter, ready to go. But it was 3, 4, 5, however long it was a long time. You know, these are the sort of QBs that will be doing a similar thing, you know? That they realistically, if you can't expect them to go in and just absolutely start dominating. Like, look at Cam Ward, right? Cam Ward, number 1 pick last year for the Titans, and then he's come out. Obviously wasn't NFL ready. Still isn't. And still not really doing, like, he's had, 2 or 3 good games so far this season. So, yeah, it's not really the year that you want to be banking on this number 1 pick to get an amazing QB. Like, you might get a sneaky QB later in the draft picture, but like these top ones aren't the top ones that we've seen in the past.
But does that not just open the door for Tua to go somewhere and whether be a stopgap or, you know, he can be that. He is still a veteran. He still knows what he's doing as long as those concussions haven't made too much of an impact. That he could be in front of one of these guys and just kind of show them the ropes. Or Patrick Mahomes won't be back for most of next season. Could you see Tua in red?
Yeah, so Tua needs to go somewhere where they've got a decent offensive line. So we go back a couple of years where they put up 70 points on the Broncos and absolutely dominated. Like, that was a great Dolphins offense, and people got paid. People got paid a lot of money. But the offensive line got absolutely hammered by other teams and got picked up left, right, and center to get taken away. And then this year he's had no protection and hasn't been able to do anything. Yes, that's partly due to coaching and the play calling and all that sort of stuff. But you take away that offensive line, well, obviously Tua, you're not protected. He's not the most agile of all person. And if he is, he's running head first into coverage, which is not the smartest of all things. Could I see him go to the Chiefs? Yes, to be honest. 100% I could see him go to the Chiefs just to fill that hole until Mahomes is back. I think Mahomes will try and push himself back quicker than what we'd see for most. Like ACL, you're thinking 12 months, basically. So like we're looking at him coming back week 15. I reckon because it's a quarterback position, if he's not running and not scrambling, he will try and get himself back sooner than that. Especially if Kansas City are in the hunt.
Yeah, plays unders for rushing every week.
Oh, 100%. Like, they'll be like, you stay in the pocket. If you're about to get sacked, throw the ball at the ground.
Throw it away. Who cares? Give it up the penalty. Get rid of it. We do have a few Dolphins fans, you know, that do listen and do comment quite a lot. So let us know what you think. Where does Tua end up? Does he stay? Are you happy that he's benched? Are you happy with Quinn Ewers? Let us know your thoughts, and we can talk about it next week for sure. Danny, we've said massive week 16 coming up. We've got some huge games that we're going to just quickly touch on before we get on to our betting segment. There's too many, so we have to give them all a couple of minutes, or not even each. So first one, Packers at Bears. I'm not going to say too much. I'll leave this one to you. But first thing we're going to start with, your Caleb 4,000-yard update. How's that going, mate?
Oh, like it was looking better. It definitely was looking better. And you said it very early on, and I was just bullish and just didn't want to listen to you because I thought you had your Packers hat on, but maybe you just had your NFL one on for once. Yeah, so he's at 3,150 currently, so he needs to get over 300 for the next couple of weeks.
Sorry, I've written it wrong. 284 per game, not 384. That's a bit of outrageous.
Yeah, but 284 is still tough. Like you're looking at 300 or thereabouts. If he has an amazing game and gets 350 in one, obviously you can drop back to like around that 250 mark for the next. But it's still a lot of yards. There's still a lot of yards to go. Are you facing them twice? No, just once.
We've got him once. I know the Lions have got him in the last game as well, which is another quality defense. So,
yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be close. It's going to be down the wire. It'll be exciting. And whatever he ends up needing at the end for that final game, you know I'm hitting the overs on it anyway. But this game, I think, is going to be super interesting because you're going into Soldier Field. So you're playing in Chicago. The weather's terrible at the moment. And there's going to be injuries left, right, and center. Like it's just not a great time. The issue for me for this, I could see this being a super run-heavy game because both these teams need to beat each other, right? So they're going to not want to make any mistakes because they're playing for the NFC North. So either way, whichever team does it, it's going to have a much higher percentage of walking away with it. So both teams are going to be playing safe. I can see a team trying to get out to a lead early and then just go and run heavy because it's cold, it was shit weather, you know, like don't air it out, don't risk a turnover.
Yeah, it is. So it's winner... pretty much we'll have the NFC North not locked up, but very long way towards it. And the second seed, we're just lucky enough that we're sitting high enough that we'll be the second seed, whoever wins. So a lot on this game. We obviously beat them 2 weeks ago, but they're going to be a lot harder to beat at Soldier Field and a lot more confident, I imagine, too. But if it is, I kind of back us if it is run heavy. We've had a couple of run good run games. Jacobs a little bit banged up with the knee, but hopefully this week's been good to him and he feels a lot better. But I just feel like our running game would be better than theirs.
DeAndre Swift is having an all-time season, and you can't deny that. And plus, you've lost Micah Parsons, so you've lost so much pressure. So you can say your run game's better than theirs, but your run defense might not be better than theirs. So, and I think DeAndre Swift is having a much underrated season. No one's really appreciating what he's done, and I can say for it firsthand because I'm pretty sure he put 200 up against us. So I feel it, and that was at home too. They were traveling when they came, but I guess he did play for Philly not too long ago, a couple of years back. So, yeah, he came in with a vengeance, and goddamn, did we get it. And their second-string runner back, and his name slipped my mind, but he also put up over 100-plus, too, against us. So, if, you got a two-headed beast there, no Micah Parsons. It'll be interesting.
I'm obviously going the Packers. Who you got?
Oh, no, just because it's you, I've got to go for the Bears, don't I?
Nice. Yes, absolutely you do. Bucks-Panthers. We mentioned this one just before off-air. This is a game that no one wants to win. Everyone's trying their hardest not to win, but whoever loses is out of the wild card race. Their only way to make the playoffs will be to topple the other in the NFC South. So a fair bit on the line. They do play each other twice in the next 3 weeks as well.
What is with both these teams, and the Panthers especially, lost to the Saints twice.
Yeah, I know.
And the Bucks also have lost to the Saints.
Tyler
Shark is just... you were so down on him at the start of the year. He's jumped so high in the offensive rookie of the year. He was paying 201 like 3 weeks ago, and now he's all the way down to 16.
Oof.
Because he's beaten both of these teams. And that... It is crazy. So the coaching is finally coming around, for the Saints. And right, I know we're not meant to be talking about the Saints right now, but it's just impressive. I don't get what's going on with the NFC South and why no one wants to win it, though. Because, if the Panthers had put the Saints away for both those games, the division's theirs. And it hasn't been theirs for however long now. And this is the first year
2015, I think.
Where the first year where they've actually looked hungry enough. And they've got such a young team going in there. And Bryce Young's finally starting to really come into his own. If you can take down this Bucks team, which is banged the fuck up, don't get me wrong. But if you can take down this Bucks team like that, you should be pretty comfortable walking away with that division.
I think Tiff mentioned it the other day, and no one thinks that probably either of these teams, just with the Bucks so banged up, unless they can get healthy going into playoffs, are going to make a deep playoff run. If the Panthers can get there, possibly win a playoff game, they have to be happy with where they're at. Looking at the start of the season, they weren't even making playoffs, so they got to be happy where they are now.
Yeah, that's an absolute win for their season. And that's almost why I kind of believe more in the Panthers. Yes, this game's at Carolina as well, coming off a loss. So I almost believe in the Panthers for this, and I never thought I'd say this because we were talking about Baker Mayfield being MVP at the start of the year. I never thought I'd really go for this, but I'm taking the Panthers at home.
The Bucks have just been making some real bad decisions and getting beaten by themselves, really. So I'm the same. I see them beating themselves again, and the Panthers take the lead in the NFC South with 2 weeks to go. Jags, Broncos. You're obviously going the Jags to keep your 13-4 alive.
Yeah, you got to. It's hard though. They're traveling into Denver. You faced a really tough Denver team last week, and came up with a big fat L. So but the Broncos win streak has got to come to an end at some point. What are that? Nine wins.
11
wins in a row. Wow, it's got to come to an end at some point.
Haven't lost since September.
So why not go against the Jags, where Trevor Lawrence has almost come off his best game ever, was it? Yeah. 330 yards, 4 passing TDs. He just absolutely dominated. So, Jags are on a little bit of a roll. Liam Cohen, what a coach. Who would have thought when he couldn't pronounce Duval properly that he would actually turn out all right? But he's managed to turn this team around just as I thought they would. So, yeah, I can't not go to the Jags because otherwise my 13-4 is dead in the water. So, yeah, give me those Jags, baby.
I do think this is going to be an absolute cracking game, and I like the Jags in it. I'm going to go the Broncos just because I saw them firsthand. Their defense is elite. We were all over in the first half, but very bend don't break. They only allowed us to kick field goals, which in the end got them the win, which was huge. And they adjusted so well in the second half and really dominated us. But Bo Nix was just so electrifying, and he was so good on his feet. It was so good to watch. So I'm going to say the Broncos are going to keep it rolling just because they don't want this 11-game streak to finish yet. But classic game, and one definitely to be keeping our eye on, I think.
And like you said, if they get the win, they're one step closer to clinching that AFC number one spot, which is huge. They'll love that week off, I think. With how hard they've been playing, they kind of need that break.
Steelers at Lions. This one's an interesting one because Aaron Rodgers can end the Lions season.
And he'd love that. He's an NFC North at heart, isn't he? He'll never let that go.
Brent mentions it a lot, so yes.
But the issue is Steelers here actually have one of the worst pass defenses, and Goff is playing really well. Goff is playing great football, and he loves airing it out. And we thought with Sammy Laporta going out that they would have more issues in the receiving corps, but Jameis Williams has just absolutely Williams has Jay Will. We'll just go with has absolutely stepped up and really taken over. A little prop bet for anyone out there. He's had 7 receptions in his past 3 games. If you're going to have 7 receptions right now on our good friends at Unibet, it's paying $5.20, which is wild. He's had 3 weeks in a row. Steelers have a pretty poor secondary and pass defense. Just jump on that. Just have a little half unit if you want. But that's my little free prop for the week.
Especially against a really lackluster defense. I like the Steelers' offense, but I just don't think they've got enough this week. I reckon the Lions are. They've got a lot on the line and they'll be hungry to get that W. So I like the Lions at home as well. So Patriots, Ravens. The Ravens are a very interesting one for me. They're so up and down at the moment. They just put a duck egg on the Bengals, but there's every chance they turn around and put a duck egg on themselves this week.
Yeah, for sure. You can't really have faith in the Ravens at any point at this season at the moment. They are a roller coaster of a team. Lamar Jackson 1 week looks fine, next week he looks terrible, the week after he looks fine again. It's just so inconsistent. And flip side of that, the Patriots have probably been one of the most consistent teams out there. Drake May actually did have kind of an off game against the Bills, but divisional rival, it's always going to be a bit tough going in to Buffalo there. But I think the Patriots are going to come out and probably storm away with this one, to be honest. I think everyone's going to think this game's going to be closer than it is just because everyone's a little bit of a Ravens believer. But give me whatever the line is for the Patriots and then plus some.
I reckon if they're up 21-0 against the Ravens, they're not letting this one go. So I agree. Drake May, a bit of a comeback game, and Mikey Vrabel will be into him all week and making sure that their defense is a lot better than giving up 5 touchdowns in a row like they did against the Bills. Last one to finish off the Monday Night Football, 49ers at Colts. 49ers just keep surprisingly winning and are still in... Yeah, we've got 2-11-3 teams in their division, and there's still a chance to win their division. So they're 10-4, which is wild. And 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is not going to get the job done in my eyes against these 49ers.
No way. I reckon the 49ers are going to come out and smoke him here. Colts as well, their pass defense hasn't really been there either. They signed Sauce Gardner thinking he was going to be the be-all and end-all savior. Sold the farm as well. Got rid of all their first-round draft picks. Now don't have a QB. Smart decisions. I really think something that we haven't spoken about either is George Kittle is Mr. December. He loves playing in December. I don't know what it is. Must be the Christmas lights. He must go out with his wife and, get all happy and all juiced up for, going Christmas shopping. Whatever it is, he just loves December. You can see naturally that his stats go through the roof in December. And we saw it last week. If you're following, we had a little Kittle ladder as well and hit every single rung of that leg. And I can see him doing the same. I think Brock Purdy's actually going to ball out in this game too and get some amazing pass yards, but maybe have a look at that in a spicy 1K club.
Yes, it is perfect little... We both go in the 49ers in that one. I like it. But perfect timing. It is time for our First Down Fridays, brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. It is your week for First Down Fridays, but we're a little bit far out for the game for your likings.
Yeah, well, no, I've just got something cooking, and I just want to make sure it's spicy enough that we're getting the odds that we need, but also guaranteed that we're going to have a win, because First Down Fridays haven't been the most kind thing to us so far this season.
God, no. Jesus, no, they haven't. So make sure you check it. We'll put it up on the socials before the game. Get around that one. But, Danny boy, we've juiced it up a little bit this week. We got our 1K club hit again last week. We're going 6 of 8, which, in my books, is bloody good hit rate. But we're trying to spice it up a little. We're going for a spicy 1K club as well. So that one will give us a little bit more odds. We've got a few more players that are a little bit probably not as consistent at hitting that 250-plus pass yards. And then we're going to combine them for having an 8-player 2K, which will be enormous. Our last week we would have just missed, but like you said, Drake May had a bit of an off week. So make sure you check that out in our featured markets at the Unibet app. We've also got our 20 receptions, which, again, hit by three-quarter time last week, which was huge. Unfortunately, two of the players we want in it are playing the Friday game. We're going to leave it for the Monday games, just so you got all weekend to get around it. But a massive week of betting, and you've also dropped in a couple of dimes in during the episode, mate. So
yeah, it's as long as people are taking notes throughout, and enjoy those little free prop bets. Maybe next year we'll throw a few more prop bets in as the time goes on, but we'll see.
Yeah, but massive week heading into Christmas as well. So make sure you do top up your accounts with some of these juicy bets that we've got going, mate. Awesome time of the year. Week 16 is going to be elite. Good luck to your birds. My Packers will run over the Bears. Don't you bloody worry about that.
Go Birds, go.